Welcome to the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast, a show all about reviewing dinosaurs on a scale of 1 to 10 fossils before only the elite terrible lizards make it into the prehistoric cage match. This program is presented by the Stomp Chomp Roar Company and can be heard within all the rock layers across the planet. Grab your dinosaurs and your official scorecard because it's now time to dig for dinosaurs. Here's your Mesozoic host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony.
Here we go, all my Jurassic kids, and welcome back to the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. I'm your prehistoric host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony. Now, on today's episode, we're reviewing our second Stegosaurid. But before we take a ride on the plates of the next Stegosaurid species, let me share with you some small business updates or my dinopreneur news. I'm just about completely booked in the month of June. Isn't that crazy or what? It is totally a dream come true. I am booked every weekday except for one, and 4 or 5 of the weekdays I have more than one event where I have 2, some of them even 3 events in one day, you guys. It is totally crazy. For the month of July, I'm about 3/4 the way booked, so I am just going to have a crazy summer. This summer is going to be stomping for sure. Stomp, chomp, roar! Now, a little bit of an update for the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. We are just about to enter into season 4. We only have a few more episodes left of season number 3 before our 3rd prehistoric cage match. So I'm starting to work on the dinosaur species list for season 4 of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. If you have a suggestion of a species that I have not reviewed yet so far, then go ahead and send me an email at stompchomproar@yahoo.com, and I'll make sure to get your species added onto the list. I look forward to all of your emails. Now, a Patreon Club update, everyone. My next virtual lesson is this Sunday, April 24th, 2022, at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's going to be all about nocturnal dinosaurs or the kingdom of the night. So join my Patreon Club to take part in this virtual lesson. Just go to patreon.com/Stomp Chomp Roar. Now let's give a couple quick shout outs, everybody. Shout out to Dinosaur Ranger Elace. She is my lovely wife and the music teacher at Hitchcock Elementary School here in Omaha. Last week I met with her first graders and we all sang and danced to Groovy Joe's Ice Cream and Dinosaurs. I had tons of fun singing along with all the kiddos, and I also taught them about the T-Rex, the Styracosaurus, and the Spinosaurus. Also, a shout out to Anchor Point Elementary in Bennington, Nebraska. I'll be setting up my prehistoric pep rally out there at that elementary school this Thursday and Friday, and doing 6 shows for all those eager dinosaur learners out there. So also, shout out to Countryside Community Church. I'll be visiting their Kindernook family night on Thursday and doing my prehistoric pep rally package. So super fun, you guys. I'll be doing 7 prehistoric pep rallies Thursday and Friday of this week. So super excited about that. Now let's go ahead and grab our scorecards and grab our dinner plates. I mean our Stegosaurid plate. It's time for my next review. So let me go ahead and pull my scorecard up here for all my listeners. Remember, you can print off the Dinosaur Review for Kids scorecard for free on my website. Just go to stompchomproar.com. You'll click on the Science Lab tab up there at the very top, and that is where you'll find the post about the Dinosaur Review for Kids, and you can click on that and you'll be able to print off for free the PDF of the official scorecard so that you can follow along with me, or maybe you can review your own dinosaur species. So today's Stegosaurid is the Kentrosaurus. The Kentrosaurus is species review number 28. Now, what is the name meaning for this dinosaur? Kentrosaurus means sharp point lizard. the sharp point lizard. Now let's find out how this dinosaur gets its name. Now the Kentrosaurus, you guys, its order, it is an ornithischian dinosaur, which means it is a bird-hipped dinosaur. Then it falls into that Thyreophora suborder, and those are the armored herbivores, like our Stegosaurids and our Ankylosaurids. And then our Kentrosaurus falls into that Stegosaurids family. So it's an ornithischian, a Thyreophora, and then a Stegosaurid. Now, how big was the Kentrosaurus? What was its length, its height, its weight? So the Kentrosaurus, everybody, is coming in at about 17 feet long, or 5 meters, up to 5 feet high, or 1.5 meters, and just over 1 ton, or 2,200 pounds. So our Kentrosaurus is about half the size of the famous Stegosaurus. Remember, our Stegosaurus can reach up to lengths of 30 feet long and 9 feet high. So our Kentrosaurus, only about half that at 17 feet long and 5 feet high. So just about half the size of our Stegosaurus. Now, how fast was this dinosaur? How fast was the Kentrosaurus? How fast could it run or walk around the Mesozoic era? Well, I believe Kentrosaurus is going to be running at about 4 to 7 miles per hour, just a little bit faster than our Stegosaurus. It doesn't have as much body weight. Our Stegosaurus weighs 6,800 pounds. So Kentrosaurus, a lot smaller of a Stegosaurid, isn't carrying as much weight, might be able to pick up a little bit more speed. Now, Kentrosaurus is a quadrupedal dinosaur, which, remember, that means they walk on 4 legs, and their back legs are 2 times as large as their front legs. Now, what are the weapons or defense, and what other characteristics did our Kentrosaurus have? The shoulder spikes! That is number 1, you guys. Kentrosaurus has those amazing shoulder spikes on its shoulders, probably used a little bit for protection from side attacks from all kinds of carnivores living in its environment. Our Kentrosaurus also has those 2 rows of bony plates going from its neck into about the middle of its back. So just like the Stegosaurus has all those plates on its back, so did our Kentrosaurus. Kentrosaurus has those 2 rows of about 14 bony plates that go from their neck down a little bit of their back. Then they have 2 rows of spikes. So I'm not sure if these would all still be called thagomizers. Remember, thagomizers are the names of the spikes at the end of the Stegosaurus tail. Well, Kentrosaurus, it has spikes all the way from the end of its tail to about halfway up its back. So a bunch of spikes, or maybe a bunch of thagomizers. So our Kentrosaurus has the shoulder spikes, has the back plates, the neck and back plates, and then the back and tail spikes. So very protective, you guys. They probably would have used the plates for a little bit of defense, maybe for a little bit of mating to attract a girlfriend so they could continue to have babies. Maybe they had different colors or impressions on the plates to be able to tell each other apart in the herd, in their environment. Or maybe some scientists even think that they could put blood up through the plates. Maybe they could change color. Probably not, though, I don't think. Or maybe they could even absorb the energy from the sun, and that would help them keep warm throughout the day if they were more of a cold-blooded animal. But I believe dinosaurs are more of a dinosaur-blooded animal. They're in the middle between cold-blooded and warm-blooded. So they probably, I don't believe they would have used it for much of keeping themselves warm all throughout the day. I think mainly for protection, and then maybe a little bit of mating display within their species. And I believe the spikes, the shoulder spikes, and those tail spikes, the thagomizers, would have definitely been used for defense and protection. Now, our Kentrosaurus ate low-lying vegetation like ferns, mosses, cycad plants, and I do think since they're a smaller Stegosaurid, they for sure probably could have got up on their back legs and reached into those trees, getting some of those low branches from the conifer trees. Our Kentrosaurus has a toothless beak like a lot of our herbivores, and then they have cheek teeth in their well-developed jaw muscles. Now, our Kentrosaurus has hoof-like claws, a great sense of smell, and it has pebble-like skin. We don't see any feathers on a lot of our herbivores, including our stegosaurids. They have more of a reptilian pebble-like skin. Now, our Kentrosaurus has a low intelligence. They're considered one of the not as smart of the dinosaurs compared to how big their brain case is in their skull against their body mass, how big they are. Sometimes they even believe that the stegosaurids had a brain close to their butt, but that theory has gone away. So Stegosaurus had that, they compare it to an acorn, you guys, but I believe it's more like 3 or 4 acorns in size. So they would have been, had low intelligence, aren't the smartest animal, but I still love all the stegosaurids nonetheless. They would have probably lived in a small herd system, nothing gigantic like the ceratopsians or some of the hadrosaurs, a lot smaller of a herd, and our Kentrosaurus, like I mentioned before, is a lot smaller of the Stegosaurids family, getting to only about half the size of what a Stegosaurus could reach in adulthood. Now, where did this dinosaur, or Kentrosaurus, live, and how long did this species live during the Mesozoic era? Well, Kentrosaurus is clocking in the fossil record from 156 to 150 million years ago during the Jurassic period. That is the middle period in the Mesozoic era. And it's found in Tanzania, and that is part of Eastern Africa. So our Kentrosaurus was found back in 1909, and it was named back in 1915 by Edward Hennig. So that is a little bit more about our Kentrosaurus, you guys. A quick recap: up to 17 feet long, up to 5 feet high, only weighing over 2,000 pounds, could run 4 or 7 miles per hour, had the great shoulder spikes, those bony plates for protection on their neck and back, and those rows of spikes down their lower back, down to their stiff tail. Ate low-lying vegetation, toothless beak, cheek teeth, and had a great sense of smell, pebble-like skin, had low intelligence, and they lived in a smaller herd, and our Kentrosaurus is smaller than a lot of the other stegosaurids in the dinosaur family. So where are we going to rate our Kentrosaurus on a score of 1 fossil being for some of the worst dinosaurs, 10 fossils being for some of the strongest dinosaurs? So if you guys remember, back in season 1, we reviewed the Stegosaurus. I gave Stegosaurus a 7.5 on the official fossil scale. So I believe for sure our Kentrosaurus, even though it has a few more features like those shoulder spikes, can't be higher than our Stegosaurus, who is just twice as big as our Kentrosaurus. So at the end of the day, everybody, I feel confident in giving our Kentrosaurus a 6.7. There we have it, a 6.7 on the official fossil scale for our Kentrosaurus. I believe still a great score. They still had plenty of great characteristics, all those plates, spikes, and specifically those shoulder spikes. I wish I had some shoulder spikes, don't you guys? Now, did you clear your dinosaur plate? I mean your dinner plate. Would you use a Stegosaurid plate as a dinner plate? You'd have enough room for a hamburger, a hot dog, some macaroni, a grilled cheese, some green beans, maybe even some cheesecake for dessert. Cheesecake. Well, you guys, go to my Facebook page. Just search Stomp Chomp Roar on Facebook, and you'll see a picture from this last week of me eating Easter leftovers on my Stegosaurus plate. It was totally fun. I always tell the kids at my live events that I use my Stegosaurus plate as my dinner plate, so I wanted to give them proof, so I posted that picture on my Facebook page. Now, you guys, only 1 episode left before our next prehistoric cage match. What species will be species number 29? Did you know that the number 29 was one of the numbers used for one of the Jeeps in the first Jurassic Park movie? Now, the next species might just have to come from the Jurassic Park movie, or maybe it will come from the Jurassic Park book. Find out next week, you guys. But before we go, a quick joke. What does the Kentrosaurus use at dinner time? What does the Kentrosaurus use at dinner time? What about its plates and its thagomizer sticks? It uses its plate for its food, its thagomizer sticks like chopsticks, and eats away at all that vegetation and cycad plants from the Jurassic period. As always, you guys, my name is Dinosaur Ranger Anthony. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Dinosaur Review for Kids podcast. Only two more episodes left one more episode left until our prehistoric cage match number 3. I cannot wait to do another prehistoric cage match episode, you guys. And as always, keep digging for dinosaurs. We'll see you guys next time.
Wow!